Okay, so how to make a solar eclipse viewer. First you start with your cereal box, trace the bottom, then you see I'm having a little difficulty keeping it still, so if you want to put something in there to keep it still, go for it. Then you cut that out. And then next, I taped it to the bottom, you don't have to, but it's probably a good idea so it doesn't come flying back up at you when you hold the viewer up. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. Like, I had my camera on my tripod really, really high up, and I'm very, very short, so I couldn't really check to see that I was in the view of the camera. But once we've got that taped in, I'm gonna go ahead and start working on the cutting part of. Okay, so you cut off the tab that's gonna be the side where you're putting the foil over it because that is where you're going to want to have no obstruction. So you're going to cut just the top off of one side and then a deeper cut that I'm making a line for here, which I'm going to score in a minute with the box cutter. You don't have to. You can use scissors, but I just found it easier to use the box cutter, which you should be cutting away from yourself. I did not, and that was very dumb, but you should definitely cut away from yourself when using a box cutter. So yeah, so you're gonna make a deeper cut on one side. So that's gonna be where you view the eclipse through. And then the other side is gonna be, you're just gonna cut the top off the box and you're gonna leave a little bridge kind of in the middle. You'll see that in a bit. I'm so sorry about the poor quality of this recording. So yeah, you see I've scored and now I'm using the scissors to just cut the top off the box for the side where we're going to put the foil over it and then pin prick it. So it's basically like a pinhole camera, only we're not making sure there's any light leaks. You could make sure there's no light leaks, but I mean a cereal box is pretty, and you're not using photosensitive paper at the bottom, which I have before. I have actually made a pinhole camera, only for that I used a tube. So a circular tube of Quaker oatmeal was my camera obscura. So we're using the same principles for this. But I'm so excited for this eclipse, guys. So see how the top is just cut off on that side, but this side goes down kind of like an L shape, I guess, a backwards L, you know, right and left. So it doesn't really matter which side is which. It could be either. You can just turn it upside down the other way, but basically I did it this way because I actually have two different prescriptions for my eyes, and my right eye is stronger than my left eye, so this is going to make it easier for me to stand with my back to the sun and hold this viewer up and look with my right eye, which is my more dominant, stronger eye. So you could do it the other way if you want to look through with your left eye, which honestly, see, I could do it with this one. Yes, you could. You could just flip it around. So it doesn't really matter which side you cut deeper to look through as a viewfinder, or if you use for the pinprick for the camera lens, if you will. So then I taped the remainder of the lid shut so it stays better. And you see I tried to cover the wrong side, which don't do that because I messed up earlier and I cut both sides as deep L pockets, and the film ripped. The foil ripped, and it did not work out so well. So this is actually my second box I'm trying it out on. So yeah, and you can see I'm very bad at cutting foil in half, which I should have just, you know, taken a little bit out, but that never works for me. And then just gently place the foil on the side where you've just cut the top off, very gently, because I'm pretty sure, as I'm about to demonstrate, it will rip. So. And there it goes. I've ripped it and ruined it. So now I get to do that all over again and cut more. It does not work out. So while this is happening, so solar eclipse, I can't really think of any books, but I guess it would be a book. It's manga. Sailor Moon is one of the few I've read that feature a solar eclipse, and I'm really hoping that Sailor Moon Crystal is gonna be coming out soon, because it's been far too long without my favorite childhood cartoon, aside from Pokemon, so yeah. My computer's starting to freak out, and this is a voiceover, if you obviously already couldn't tell, as there are no sounds, because when I was recording, the dogs were barking. I'm pretty sure there were multiple sirens in town. People were just getting home, so they were like screaming through the house and doors, and yeah. So, I'm flattening. I found if I flatten the foil out, it actually is a lot easier to be gentle with and not rip when you place it over. I'm sorry again, this is completely out of frame, but you see how I've placed it over, and you'll see in a second how I've done that. And I taped, and I made sure that all the sides were taped down, not just because of light leaks, but also just because it keeps it more secure, and then you don't have to worry about it ripping. I'm always worried about things breaking. And I'm very, very sorry that my camera just kind of automatically stops recording after weird amounts of time. Like this chunk of recording, it, got through about 6 minutes of recording. Then there's one where I literally recorded for a second and my camera stopped recording. So there we go. It's all taped on, and then what's missing is you just take a little needle, which is why the boo embroidery was, and you pinprick it, and you have an eclipse viewer.